Connecticut might be best known for its tidy towns, expensive schools, and picture-perfect homes. But behind all that lies a lesser-known reality, a series of small towns that are slowly losing residents, fading away, or even disappearing entirely from the social map. Not ghost towns like in cowboy movies, but places that left behind traces, empty schools, colonial villages being reclaimed by forests, even small towns stuck in economic stagnation. What's interesting is, each one has its own unique story. Some rebuilt as living museums, others turned into mysterious legends, and some simply fell apart due to modernization. So, let's explore 15 small towns in Connecticut that have been, or might soon be, abandoned, with stories that flow, feel relaxed, and are packed with fascinating facts. Ready? Pleasure Beach in Bridgeport was once a resort island, complete with pavilions, rides, and a small neighborhood. It remained popular until the connecting bridge to the mainland burned down in 1996, cutting off access and leaving many buildings abandoned. Since then, the site has often been called Connecticut's largest ghost town, until it reopened years later. The city briefly revived access with a water taxi and public opening program in 2014 to 2015. But the old bridge from 1927 is now badly damaged and slated for demolition due to safety hazards and damage caused by an oil barge. Most recently, the city closed Pleasure Beach for the 2025 season due to public health and conservation concerns. Several species of ticks were discovered, including the Asian longhorn tick, along with a rise in protected bird nesting. The city is managing the issue and limiting access while deciding on the site's future, whether to reopen it, restore it as a nature preserve, or keep it restricted. Bara-Hack has always felt like a kind of small legend in Connecticut, not just because it's been abandoned for a long time, but because it's had a strange atmosphere from the beginning. This tiny village was built by English colonial settlers in Coventry in the late 1700s, then slowly emptied out after the last family moved away in the early 1900s. Today, all that remains are stone foundations, an old wagon wheel, and wooden wall fragments blending into the forest. But what really makes Bara-Hack interesting isn't just the ruins, it's the reputation. Locals once called it the Village of Voices because they claimed to hear laughter, footsteps, and wagon wheels at night, even though no one lived there anymore. Even now, many people don't come for history. They come to test their courage. This area used to be lively thanks to a twine mill powered by the river. It was where people worked, lived, and built a close-knit community. But as industry shifted, the mill shut down, and one by one, the residents left their homes behind. Then came Raymond Schmidt in the 1960s, an eccentric man with a big dream. He gathered Victorian-style buildings, moved them to Johnsonville, and tried to turn the place into a tourist village. The location was even used in a Billy Joel music video. But after the mill burned down and the project stalled, the dream faded. After Schmidt passed away, the village became completely empty, quiet, beautiful, and a little eerie. In 2017, it was bought by Iglesia Ni Cristo, who planned to build a community center. But today, Johnsonville still looks like an old photo, gorgeous but frozen in time. Dudleytown was first settled in the 1740s, when a few families, including the Dudley family, cleared part of what's now called the Dark Entry Forest to start farming. But the land was tough, rocky, and shaded by hills that blocked sunlight, making it nearly impossible for farming to thrive. Over time, Especially by the late 1800s, many families chose to leave in search of a better life. Residents moved to areas with richer soil. Slowly, the village was abandoned. By the 1920s, the land was purchased by a private foundation planning to reforest it as a nature preserve. Since then, all that remains of Dudleytown are cellar holes, crumbling stone walls, and narrow trails in the woods. Quiet, dark, and often called the most haunted place among ghost town legends. Today, the land belongs to the Dark Entry Forest Association and is officially closed to the public to prevent vandalism and illegal exploration. A small town in northwestern Connecticut that seems peaceful today, Bridgewater holds a deeper story when viewed through the lens of demographics and local history. Officially incorporated in 1856 after splitting off from a neighboring area, it once had an active agricultural and light industrial life. Farms, tobacco fields, crop production, even hat factories and local crafts. But population trends show that Bridgewater, like many small towns in Connecticut, is shrinking. From 1,727 residents in 2010, the number has dropped to around 178 by 2025. These days, Bridgewater feels more like a quiet residential community surrounded by nature and rural charm. But the numbers tell another story. Fewer young people, a declining population, and not many drivers for growth. If this pattern continues, Bridgewater could soon be labeled a slow fade town, not vanishing overnight, but gradually losing its energy and the strong community it once had. Sharon is currently home to around 2,768 people. But the standout fact is the median age, about 61 years old, making it the oldest population among all towns and counties in Connecticut, based on a 2023 survey. That means there are relatively few children, teens, or young adults, and the population is steadily aging. In the past, Sharon had an active community with homes, schools, housing, and social life, but now, many young families seem to choose not to settle here. You could say Sharon feels like a small town with a slowing heartbeat. Far from the city noise, peaceful nature, ideal for retreats or retirement. But in the long term, without new energy, young people, families, new residents, Sharon may grow quieter. Its community could shrink. Public services and schools might struggle, and the town's sense of life could slowly fade away. Cornwall feels like a page in a book that someone forgot to turn. Visually, it's stunning. Lush green valleys, calm rivers, and its most iconic landmark, the Cornwall Covered Bridge, a red wooden bridge that looks straight out of an indie film. A lot of people come just to take photos, but after that, they leave. And Cornwall goes quiet again. Beneath the beauty, Cornwall faces a hard truth. Its population is down to around 1,500 people, most of whom are older adults. Young folks, very few. Home prices keep rising, jobs are limited, and many younger generations are choosing to move elsewhere. As a result, Cornwall is slowly turning into a quieter, less lively community. History shows that Cornwall once had a global connection through the Foreign Mission School, which brought in students from Hawaii, Asia, and Native American nations in the 1800s. Imagine, this sleepy little town once had international ties. Now it feels more isolated than ever. Salisbury looks like a picture-perfect New England village. Historic wooden homes, winding roads between hills and lakes, and slow-moving rivers. The town has about 4,300 residents today. But behind the calm are two sides. On one hand, there's an active community life, cafes, local shops, art galleries, and a long history dating back to 1741. On the other, many of the homes aren't lived in full-time anymore. They're second homes, vacation spots, or retreats for retirees and remote workers. The future of Salisbury is a bit uncertain. With a growing number of second homes and fewer young people settling down, the town risks losing its social pulse. Salisbury isn't a ghost town and may never fully die. But if demographic and migration trends continue, it could face a future with empty homes during off-seasons, low youth presence, and a shift toward a seasonal, part-time community, a clear example of a slow-fade town. The next slow-fade town is Norfolk. It feels like the last page of an old diary. Peaceful, well-kept, but carrying a sense that it used to be much livelier. Surrounded by forests, small lakes, and cool air, Norfolk was once a favorite for artists and classical music lovers. Even today, it's still known for the Norfolk Chamber Music Festival, a cultural gem that comes alive each summer. But once the festival ends, the town falls quiet again. Norfolk now has only around 600 residents, most of them older adults. Young people? Far fewer than in past decades. Many homes have turned into second homes, used only on weekends or during holiday seasons. Norfolk isn't gone, but its pace of life keeps slowing with each passing year. Kent is like a tucked-away New England village in northwestern Connecticut. Green, peaceful, with old-school bridges, art galleries, and that perfect escape the city for a while vibe. The population sits around 3,100 people today. When it comes to housing, local economy, and quality of life, Kent has a solid reputation. Most homes are privately owned, and the town offers both public and private schools, along with artistic and natural attractions, galleries, museums, waterfalls, hiking trails, rivers, and lakes that provide a deep connection to nature. But beneath all that charm, cracks are starting to show. There are relatively few young residents, while the percentage of those aged 65 and older is fairly high, meaning demographic renewal is weak. Many homes are now used as second homes or vacation getaways, rather than long-term residences. Today, Kent feels like a town from an indie film, gorgeous in the fall or summer, full of local stories, but facing a quiet uncertainty. Often known as Falls Village, Canaan offers a laid-back, nature-rich feel while quietly reflecting the data and subtle ghost town potential. On the positive side, a large majority of residents, about 87%, own their homes. Though small, Canaan has an inviting side for anyone drawn to peace and natural beauty. Green valleys, the Housatonic River, historic waterfalls, colonial buildings, it all feels like an old New England diary left open in the sun. Unfortunately, the number of children and young families has dropped. Kids under 18 declined between 2010 and 2020, and the adult population has also shrunk. Signs that social regeneration is thinning out. If this trend continues, Canaan is at risk of slowly fading. Schools may empty out, local shops could quiet down, and many houses may gradually shift into second homes or retiree properties. Waterbury was once proud and booming as the Brass City, a place where thousands came to work in metal factories. But after the industry collapsed, it was like the city lost its sense of direction. It's still busy, still alive, but the energy feels different, heavier, more strained. The core issues are simple but interconnected. Good jobs are harder to find, poverty is on the rise, and schools are fighting hard to stay relevant. many young families end up thinking, we'd be better off in the suburbs, safer, with more stable schools. And once one leaves, others tend to follow. Waterbury has its own urban character, but its aging infrastructure makes the city feel like an old machine that's being pushed to keep running. Even if crime isn't as bad as its reputation suggests, the perception of being unsafe has stuck, and that's hard to shake. This city was once known as one of Connecticut's major industrial and port hubs, busy, alive, full of activity. But over time, factories shut down, industries declined, and the economy shifted. The city is still here, buildings, streets, neighborhoods, but its social pulse feels heavier now. Many families and residents have chosen to move to the suburbs or other towns. Jobs are hard to find, and the cost of living and safety concerns weigh heavily. Schools, public services, and neighborhoods often struggle to keep up with rapidly changing conditions. With fewer young people around, schools can feel empty, local businesses may fade, and communities begin to lose their close-knit feel. Today, Bridgeport feels like a grand stage where the lights are still on, but the curtain has started to close. Without new investment in education, infrastructure, and the local economy, the city risks being slowly pushed aside. It won't vanish, but it could become forgotten as a center of life. New Britain was once known as a center of industry and manufacturing. Factories and production lines brought energy, urban life, and a strong working-class community. But over time, many of those industries moved away or shut down, causing the local economy to weaken. Now, New Britain is still active in many areas. There are buildings, homes, schools, and city services. But the pressure of social and economic challenges is starting to show. Many families are moving to the suburbs or towns with better opportunities. That shift is changing the community, which was once filled with daily activity. Schools may lose students, local businesses can struggle to stay open, and social ties begin to fade. In the long run, without new investment in jobs, housing, and public services, New Britain could become a stagnant city, still here physically, but with a fading social and economic heartbeat. Hartford feels like an older city that once had its glory days, but now seems to be fighting to stay relevant. It was once a magnet for immigrants and diverse communities. From Europe, the Caribbean, Latin America, so many stories and cultures all within one place. But over time, serious challenges have emerged. Hartford has often ranked as one of the worst cities to live in national surveys, mainly due to high poverty levels and low rankings in education and well-being compared to other cities. Crime and safety have also been long-standing concerns. There has been progress. Violent crimes like murder and shootings have dropped significantly over the past 2 years. But other crimes, including theft and property-related offenses, are still above average. That makes Hartford still feel rough for many people. The biggest challenge now is figuring out how to keep residents from leaving, how to retain younger generations, and a strong middle class that can help the city stay alive.